Hello everybody, Flory here again. Going to do another shop improvement video, go through the shop and talk about some of the things we've done recently. So one of them, if you look behind here, we sheeted these walls. These were just open with fiberglass insulation, so we got those covered, hung our coat hooks, put the broom over here. While we're over here, we put a note on here to remind us to measure our doors when we come off the clamp for width, height, and diagonal to make sure they're square. We also, over here at the shaper tooling, we got our trays put in and started to fill some of those up. I think we're going to cut some dowels to hold things in place because when we slam this, they can move around. But we've got a lot of storage here for our shaper cutters in different forms. We also, up top, have somewhere to put our domino and our accessories for those things. We labeled our drum sander here for our first pass and second pass because to get good results we want to scratch the wood in an X pattern. This way it can remind us which way to put them in and we don't have to think about it. Right here at the edge bander we put a little shelf over here at the end with to hold some of our extra tape, and we put our Kanban card with it so that we know what to order, who to order it from, all those things. We started adding labels to our supply shelf over here, so you can see here we've got several. We've got all our Kanban cards here where we need them, and we're going from these printed labels to the label that shows what's in the box to help us know what to look for while we're over there. We also hung this cabinet that again was built the wrong size for a job, and we're starting to find out some things that we can put in there for storage. Instead of getting rid of the cabinet, we'll just make use of it. We added this cart for our base cabinet sides. We cut these 6 at a time on our panel saw, and we didn't have anywhere to keep them, so we got this. We can lower it. Obviously we can raise it up, make it a little handier when we need to pull them off there without having to bend over. And it fits right there under the saw, so we can keep it right where they're needed. Over here at the shapers, we added an auto blast gate to our stick shaper so we get more dust collection. Our dust collection upgrades on the shaper itself have been making a big improvement. We still obviously need to work on some of this. We added a light over here on our coat shaper because when we're coating these, we need to see that we've got a good insertion for our piece here, and we can now see back here where we need to see. Over here at the shaper, we replaced our feed rollers. The ones that were on it were getting slick and the rubber was getting hard, so we put some new on it and we're having much better results from that. I also had to take a little bit more material out of our area for the feed rollers so we could get some more down pressure and we can get a safer cut that way. Right here beside this, for our door and face frame material, we labeled everything on the floor. We added as much space as we could so we have our standard pieces over here and we can just grab them right off of our vertical storage and go to the cutoff saw, which is right here. We got one of these glue nips from FastCap, and what this is a silicone glue bottle cover, so you can put the glue on, you can spread the glue, all kinds of things, and if the glue skins over on this cap, it'll just flake off. It won't actually cover the hole. We love it here at the face frame table because we like to spread it on the end grain there before we put our face frame together, and that has helped a lot, so we don't have to keep up with this glue bottle lid anymore. That is a lid and everything contained all there together. We had broken the handle of one of our blowers that we used to blow the machinery off in the floor, so we JB welded that together, and it's been holding really well. We have added for our metrics, we have added some little tablets with timers, and we're using Quantum Lean's timing app, I guess is what it's called, and this helps us keep track of whether we're doing well or whether we need help in a station or things like that. panel saw, we trued up the bottom ledge. This is a used saw, we've had it for a while, and we noticed we were getting some inconsistencies in squareness. And reading the manual, one of the things it recommends doing is truing up the bottom. So we took out the rollers and we trued that up according to the manual, and now we're getting better results off of the panel saw. We also added dust collection here at these machines, and we added a 6-inch gate for the rip saw. We had a 4-inch gate on it and it was not capturing enough dust, so we added the 6-inch there, and we have a 4-inch we can use somewhere else. Over here on the side, when we bought the rip saw, it had a power strip on the side down here that was starting to fail, so we replaced that with a new one, and that's what we have all of our blast gates and tool sensors ran to. Over here at our vertical storage, we added labels for our species, so when we come over here we can find it easier by species in case we have somebody new maybe that isn't as confident about what they're grabbing. We also have started just taping some of our Kanban cards. Instead of having a holder for that, we just take some painter's tape it to those 3 to let us know when to reorder. We also have it up here on this one. This is long-term what we'd like to have. This is sized specifically for the reorder point, and the Kanban card just slides in there. So when we get to that point, we just take that out, flip it over, and we can order and we can still pull from it. And long-term, I'd like to have solutions like that for most of our sheet good type things. Over here to the right of our garage door, we moved this air hose reel from below the girt up out of the way. We sheeted this wall. Behind that we insulated, we stubbed in some electrical. We don't have the electrical done yet, but it's there. We just have to get it tied into our panel, and that gives us a much cleaner space there. We can blow it, we sweep it a lot easier, and it just looks a lot cleaner. Over here at drawer assembly, when we moved the rack over here, we were able to organize our drawer guides. So we have them by brand and size, and we've got our Kanban cards at our reorder points. We've also got some customer supplied things on here and odds and ends. Over here at our drawer assembly table, we organized some rear clips there, and then here we've got our left and right clips for these Salichis that we're currently using. And we're really proud of this. I don't think I've shown this before. This is our drawer assembly area. So we work right to left, and we've got all the tools here we need to get the drawers together, and we don't have to do a whole lot of motion. We also, in rearranging, have put our final assembly table here. So this is where drawer slides get hung. So we're right here, everything's close together, and it works really well. When we put our air hose reel up here, I added a regulator so that our nail gun, a drawer assembly, could be plugged in, and it leaves this air hose reel free for the assembly table. On our drawer parts cart, we have it labeled here for our sides and our fronts and backs, and we used to just set things on here and then we put our bottoms in there, and it was kind of hard to hold things in place. So I made this holder that just fits on top of that and sits down in there, and now we've got it labeled, and we can stack everything in here vertically, and it's much easier to roll it from where we cut our parts to where we assemble our parts over there, and everything just stays nice and neat. Well, guys, wanted a way to keep some of this trim that we use standard. So there's a flat mold, and we took these 2 pieces of cut off 6-inch pipe and attached it to the wall, put a cap on the bottom so we can still clean underneath it, and that gives us a good way to store some moldings that we might need on a regular basis.